November 9th, 1989, a day that will forever go down in history. After 28 years, a city that was once divided is now united again. The Berlin Wall borders are now open. Leading up to the fall of the wall, in May of this year, Hungary started to dismantle its barbed wire fences and alarm system it has on its borders with Austria. In June, Poland held its first free elections. In August this year, 2 million people formed a 372-mile chain by holding hands across the Baltic states. In September, Hungary reopened its borders with East Germany, which allowed 13,000 East Germans to escape. In October, East German head of state, Erich Honecker, steps down, and just 6 days ago, 1 million people demonstrated in East Berlin. And just yesterday, Communist leader of East Germany, Günter Schabowski, mistakenly said in a press conference that borders will be opened immediately instead of the following day. Confused soldiers opened some of the borders, allowing amounts of people through. People poured into the streets celebrating. Everything was in chaos. Now let's take a look at the video.
Und nichts anderes! Und nicht das Loch nicht!
Wow, what a scene. History in the making. Now let's turn it over to our economic specialist, Hunter Stusnick.
Thanks, Peter. The fall of the Berlin Wall comes with new economic problems for the people of West Germany. But first, here's some background information. West Germany has had a capitalist economy and East Germany has had a communist one. Before the fall of the wall, West Germany had economic success, growing rapidly with help from other countries and the Marshall Plan. Other countries contributed to West Germany to help the economy so that the people of West Germany would embrace a successful capitalist economy instead of a communist one. Over time, the West Berlin economy became less dependent on aid as its industries grew under the Berlin Economic Development Corporation, which aimed to turn West Berlin into an industrial center large enough to rival London and Madrid. Between 1979 and 1982, the Berlin Economic Development Corporation brought in 85 companies and $300 million in investments. In 1980, the whole gross production of West Berlin was equal to about half the nation of Denmark. While West Germany was thriving, the East German economy was rapidly falling. The East German economy rapidly fell because it had a high population of dependents. 20% of East Germans were over 65 and 22% of the population was under 21. Another problem in East Germany was that it was losing its most valuable citizens, young, economically active people, to the West. Now the wall is down, as masses of refugees enter the West from the East. The West German local governments are responsible for paying 100 marks as welcome money to every East German coming across the border. The process of integrating both economies is expected to cost more money than initially predicted. While the economies of East and West Germany are similar, based around industry, forming one economy from two countries with completely different levels of economic development looks to be difficult. Now that West Germany has taken over the economy, they plan to privatize the companies in order to make the industries more productive and efficient. This looks like it will result in a huge reduction in jobs. Consequently, unemployment rates in Germany are expected to soar and rise even more so in former East Germany than the West. Thank you. Back to you, Peter.
Thank you, Hunter, for that wonderful report. Now here's Logan Loeloff, our political specialist. Logan, take it away.
Thanks, Chat. With the fall of the wall, it changes the political climate of Europe. Let's take a look back at previous years. After World War II, the Allied powers split into 4 different sectors across Germany, with the Western powers controlling West Berlin and West Germany, and the Soviets controlling East Berlin and East Germany. This setup caused many problems. It caused the Berlin blockade, the Marshall Plan, the Berlin airlift, and the Berlin ultimatum. From these events, the Berlin Wall was formed. The man responsible for the building of the wall was the SPD's chief, Walter Umbrecht. He built the wall so that East Berliners would sign a separate peace treaty with Russia. With this, he would be able to go to West Berlin and unite the two in a socialist paradise, because he would have Russia supporting him. However, his plan had a flaw, and that was threatening nuclear war between the Soviets and Western powers. This did not work, however, and the people started to attempt to climb over the wall any way they could. This made people less interested in communism and created bad economic and political conditions for the Soviets. Khrushchev steps down and Gorbachev comes to power. Gorbachev's response to this was enacting two reforms: perestroika, which was to reconstruct Russia's economy to make it more efficient, and glasnost, which called for an increase in government and activities. These two reforms did not work, and Russia stayed in a period of stagnation. Ronald Reagan put a large amount of money into military and arms spending, which prompted Russia to do the same. However, Russia couldn't keep up, and this made them go bankrupt. In 1987, Reagan gave this speech. Cue the video.
Today I say, as long as this gate is closed, as long as this scar of a wall is permitted to stand, it is not the German question alone that remains open, but the question of freedom for all mankind. In the 1950s, Khrushchev predicted, "We will bury you." But in the West today, we see a free world that has achieved a level of prosperity and well-being unprecedented in all human history. In the communist world, we see failure. There is one sign the Soviets can make that would be unmistakable, that would advance dramatically the cause of freedom and peace. General Secretary Gorbachev, if you seek peace, if you seek prosperity for the Soviet Union and Eastern Europe, if you seek liberalization, come here to this gate. Mr. Gorbachev, open this gate. Mr. Gorbachev, Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
East Germans became inspired and started performing small acts of revolution. In Leipzig, the people protested and performed demonstrations, and the numbers grew daily. Also during this time, Hungary opened its borders to East Germans in order for them to escape their struggles in East Germany. Now, the wall has finally come down! Dun dun dun. Now that the wall is down, it looks like the beginnings of revolution against communism in other Eastern Bloc countries. Germany is now on the path to unification as the GDR and the FRG come together. The fall of the wall could indicate the end of the Cold War. Hopefully, the spread of communism will be contained, stopped, and reversed with new foreign policy in America. With the fall of the wall and the near end to the Cold War, there is talk of a nuclear peace treaty that would officially end the Cold War. Thank you. Back to you, Chat.
Thank you, Logan, for that wonderful analysis. Now here's Hunter with Stefan Gross, a West Berliner. Take it away, Hunter.
What was your life like before the fall of the wall?
Es war sehr schlecht. Ich war zweimal von den Kommunisten gefangen. Ich war 15 und 21 Jahre alt. Sie kamen für morgen. Ich war in 1988 entlassen und ich wohnte in West-Berlin.
Did you have a role in taking down the wall?
Ja, ich ging zu dem Brandenburger Tor und ich sprang auf die Mauer. Der nächste Tag half ich der Mauer zum Boden zu bringen mit einem Hammer und einem Steinmeißel.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching the Dirk Report. And this is Peter Chatterton, signing off.